Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how to construct a dynamic table inside your Docusign Gen template. This is something that was provided by default, with the old Docusign for Salesforce CPQ package, but when transitioning to Docusign Gen, you have to create yourself. So I really wanted to make this video to get into some of the details to help others get started quickly and create powerful templates. So the example I have here just has four columns: product, unit price, discount, and total price. And the way that I construct that in Microsoft Word is really just by using the syntax that's provided from the add field section inside the DocuSign Gen template. So you'll notice that within quote lines here, we have the ability to use this different XPath language for table row select, which will allow the table to dynamically expand or contract with the different number of products that'll show up for each order form. And what I did specifically was to not just use the product name, but also concatenate the description after the product name in an effort to use fewer columns and control the formatting a bit more. One of the other items that I did was I made use of this syntax for suppressed table column. I found that as the number of columns increases in the table, the more unruly it gets in terms of sizing and formatting the different columns. And that was somewhat troublesome. So by controlling when certain columns show up and making sure that if they weren't relevant, that they could be removed was a very important piece. Um, Finally, you may be thinking, that sizing columns is relatively easy. If you've worked in Microsoft Word, it's a pretty common use case. Drag the vertical lines here and resize the columns as you see fit. However, when you generate these in DocuSign Gen and test them, you'll notice that in some cases, when you create the table manually, it doesn't respect that sizing. So the way to manage this is to select the table, go to your layout section, and use the auto fit options here in order to make sure that the table is using all the available room, but is still respecting the different spacing and the content within each column. So those are some quick tips that I use in order to manage the table and make sure that it appears in DocuSign, the way that I want, and that my customers have a good customer experience. If you come across others that you've used or situations that you haven't been able to overcome, please reach out, post in the comments. I'd love to explore other options and find out if people have used this in other creative ways. Thanks very much for listening.